that he is the father of Liliana?
It could be a 50-50 chance, honestly, Your Honor.
Anybody got a quarter?
Do you understand that for a man, for any person, that would be really hard to accept?
Your Honor, I told him yes, there was a possibility that Jordan was not his. The reason I filed for the divorce is not so that I could be with Mr. Dorslag. It's because I got a screenshot of a text message from my family member saying that he had asked for nude photos.
Still had this other family and this other life?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
She was like, nah, that's not what I want right now. And
Because even though you were separated, you were still technically married. And I always say a man is married until he is divorced.
Our main man, Mr. Threlkeld, kicks things off with a bombshell about the paternity of his 18-month-old mini-me, Liliana, thanks to a plot twist courtesy of his wife's not-so-secret rendezvous while he was playing hero overseas. Now he's calling in the science squad for a paternity test to see if he's really the daddy. Hold on to your hats. This soap opera is just getting started.
Mr. Threlkeld, you have entered this courtroom with a marriage on the brink of divorce. You state that while you were out of the country serving in the military, your wife raided around town with other men, and she has admitted cheating multiple times. You claim you are not sure if you are the father of her third child, 18-month-old Liliana, and have asked the court for a paternity test.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sitting down? Because Mr. Threlkeld's tale of woe and intrigue is like a telenovela on steroids. Picture this, he's out there, defending his country, only to uncover his wife's escapades back home. As if that's not enough drama for one day, a surprise attack cuts him off from the world, leaving him to stew in a crockpot of betrayal and worry. And folks, believe me when I say, this emotional roller coaster has more loops than a theme park. Don't touch that dial.
Earlier on in the day, me and him got into some words, so I thought we were gonna, settle it. Well, it turns out his wife and my wife were friends, and she had found out that she was actually stripping as we spoke. At the time, I found out about it. I thought, it was all just a hoax. So I went, calmly to the internet lounge, got on Facebook and asked her, hey, is it true you're doing what I told you I didn't want you doing at all? Right after I left there, our base actually got attacked.
Just when you think you've got a handle on the feels, Mr. Threlkeld hits you with the gut punch of loneliness. Imagine coming home from serving your country, dreaming of hugs and warm welcomes, only to be greeted by the sound of crickets. It's like a country song gone wrong, highlighting just how rocky the road has been in the Threlkeld household. But wait, the saga marches on.
That's one whole outfit?
I think that's a dress is what they call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Clear shoes with money still in them. And
Okay, that was for decoration.
So you come home, Mr. Threlkeld, and your wife and your family aren't there. But she eventually does pick you up. So you were there at
Yes,
some
Your Honor.
point to get him.
And just when you think things can't get any more Jerry Springer, we take another twisty turn. Mr. Threlkeld, in a move that's equal parts desperate and bewildering, reveals the master plan behind baby number 2, an attempt to curtain call his wife's career on the pole. Spoiler alert, things get messier. Strap in. The revelations are about to hit harder than a daytime soap cliffhanger.
You come back and you have in your mind, maybe if I could get her to stop stripping, we could maybe make it work. I get her pregnant, she can stay off the pole and stay in the house.
Think about all the other expenses of having a child. Bottom line, Your Honor, is I had to support my children. There are things you need to do, and I knew he wasn't going to get a job when he came back.
within 3 weeks of us being home, she was pregnant. So, I don't know if it was my devious, messed up.
The drama thickens like a plot stew as Ms. Threlkeld steps into the spotlight with a truth bomb that's got a 50% chance of blowing your mind. Mr. Threlkeld might or might not be the father of Liliana. It's like Maury Povich meets high-stakes poker, folks, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for the next hand.
That he is the father of Liliana.
It could be a 50-50 chance, honestly, Your Honor.
Anybody got a quarter?
Do you understand that for a man, for any person, that would be really hard to accept? There is a part of me that listens to you both talk and see one, if not both of you, maybe still wants to make this work. Interested and trying to see if you could save this marriage?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold your breath, folks, because we're on the edge of our seats, waiting for the grand reveal. The DNA results are in.
In the case of Threlkeld versus Threlkeld pertaining to 1-year-old Liliana, Mr. Threlkeld, you are Liliana's father. Ms. Threlkeld, it seems like you became instantly emotional. Is that relief or is that
Yes, Your Honor, it's
joy,
really,
or
I
both?
mean, it's all together. I'm happy because I know she's his, so I would like to work on everything.
Well, ma'am,
Hold on to your hats, folks, because you're about to dive into the bewildering saga of Livingston versus Livingston and Doerschlag. Ms. Livingston steps into the legal arena, demanding a DNA showdown to convince her bewildered ex, Mr. Livingston, that he's not the daddy of her 21-month-old munchkin, Jordan. Meanwhile, Mr. Livingston's convinced his ex is trying to cut him out of the picture to reckon La Flames with her old flame, Mr. Doerschlag.
Ms. Livingston, you've petitioned this court for a DNA test on your 21-month-old daughter, Jordan, to prove to your now ex-husband, Mr. Livingston, that he is not Jordan's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that the only reason your ex-wife is denying you are the father is because she desperately wants to have a relationship with her ex-boyfriend.
In a jaw-dropping twist that no one, absolutely no one, saw coming, Ms. Livingston spills the beans on why she's convinced Mr. Livingston isn't the father. Apparently, she was juggling dates with both gents around baby-making season, but bets on Mr. Doerschlag being the bio-dad. Why? Little Jordan's sprouting blonde locks, a genetic curveball neither of the supposed papas could have pitched. Grab your popcorn, the drama's just getting started.
Around the time of conception, I had sex with another man.
You did?
Yes, Your Honor.
But did you also have sex with Mr. Livingston?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why is it you believe that the other man is your child's father and not Mr. Livingston?
My daughter, when she was born, she looked a lot like Mr. Livingston. She had dark hair and, she had some of his facial features, but as she got older, she got blonde hair. Neither Mr. Livingston nor I have blonde hair, but Mr. Doerschlag does. She started to look a lot like Mr. Doerschlag.
Just when you think it couldn't possibly get any juicier, Mr. Livingston stands his ground, insisting he's Jordan's true Papa Bear, armed with an arsenal of prenatal appointment receipts and heartwarming birth memories. His tale of daddy-daughter bonding is Oscar-worthy. Meanwhile, Ms. Livingston reminisces about dropping the pregnancy bomb on him, painting a picture of a man emotionally and practically all in. But wait, there's a plot twist on the horizon.
And so, Mr. Livingston, are you on the baby's birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are?
I've been told I was the baby's father from the very first day that we found out she was pregnant.
And you were with her throughout the pregnancy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Went to the doctor's appointment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were there when the baby was born?
Yes, Your Honor. So
I had a C-section.
I let her mother go in the delivery room while she was doing the C-section.
But you were there waiting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The saga thickens, with the echoes of divorce papers flapping in the wind. Post-divorce, Ms. Livingston drops another bombshell. Mr. Doerschlag might be on the baby daddy leaderboard. The plot thickens. The divorce was Ms. Livingston's escape route after discovering Mr. Livingston's digital dalliances with a relative. And just when you think you've seen it all, the story takes another wild turn.
And I hear a knock on the door. It's a cop. He's coming to bring me the divorce papers. And then when he leaves, shortly after that, I get a phone call from my ex-wife over here. There is a possibility that Jordan is not mine.
So you called him and said that, Miss Livingston?
Your Honor, I told him yes, there was a possibility that Jordan was not his. The reason I filed for the divorce is not so that I could be with Mr. Doerschlag. It's because I got a screenshot of a text message from my family member saying that he had asked for nude photos.
As the drama escalates, Ms. Livingston confesses to keeping the flames of past passion with Mr. Doerschlag alive, tangled in a web of love, longing, and daddy dilemmas. The suspense is unbearable. What will happen next?
I said, there is one person in my life that will always be in my heart, and that is Jace Doerschlag. And there's nothing you can do to change it.
She just proved her point.
And so you think this is all about her trying to get back with Mr. Doerschlag?
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't have any doubt that this child is your biological child?
Your Honor.
Cranking up the intensity. Witness testimony from Mr. Livingston's sister throws a family resemblance Hail Mary into the mix, challenging Ms. Livingston's quest for a Doerschlag dynasty. The courtroom is buzzing with anticipation. What's coming next? You won't want to miss it.
But as she's gotten older and her hair is light, and she does have some features of Jason.
Every child is born with every DNA color in their body. Her hair can be any color it wants, no matter the parent. He looks just like Michael.
Why do you think that Ms. Livingston is saying unequivocally, Mr. Livingston is not my child's father?
I think because she adamantly wants a relationship with Mr. Doerschlag, and she wants nothing to do with my brother, and she doesn't want him to be around.
And then the grand finale, leaving audiences everywhere gasping. The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Her biological father is Mr. Livingston.
No, for sure. I just wanted to know for sure. And I told Mr. Doerschlag I didn't know for sure.
Ms. McCrary, armed with a hefty stack of documents, charging towards the courtroom to demand a DNA test. She's adamant Mr. Goodson is the dad of her adorable yet very demanding 18-month-old mini-me. She's all, he hasn't lifted a finger. Mr. Goodson, on the other hand, is in full denial mode, swearing up and down that there's no way he's the father. And just when you think it's all been said, bam, the next part hits you.
Ms. McCrary, you have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your miracle baby, 18 17-month-old Arian McCrary. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Goodson, you say the plaintiff has brought the wrong man to court and you refuse to do anything for a child.
And then things crank up to 11. Ms. McCrary, not one to back down, launches into a passionate tirade about Mr. Goodson's refusal to acknowledge his daughter. She calls her little one a miracle baby, possibly due to surviving on a diet of soap operas and pure determination, and paints a vivid picture of her life as a solo warrior mom. Brace yourselves. It's about to get even more emotionally charged.
You wouldn't think that you'll be having a baby. I'm like, okay, here she go. And I just take one day at a time. I don't know what else to do.
Has he been involved in her life at all? 17 months.
He has been to a certain extent, okay? I can count on one hand how many times.
One hand in 17 months you can count?
Yes, Your Honor, and counting, okay?
And when you see her?
That's my miracle baby, you know? I didn't know I could, conceive. When you're in a relationship, you have an unprotected sex.
Your jaw will drop, and you might need to sit down for this. In a twist worthy of a telenovela, Ms. McCrary drops the bombshell about their secret rendezvous, while Mr. Goodson was on a break from his wife. This juicy bit of gossip adds layers of complexity to their already tangled web of a story. And believe it or not, there's still more drama to unfold.
Being intimate, he still had this other family and this other life?
Oh, okay, yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
okay.
That's important testimony. When you said you were going to reach out to her to let her know you wanted to make things a little more serious, how serious could it get when you already had another person?
She was like, nah, that's not what I want right now.
Because even though you were separated, you were still technically married. And I always say a man is married until he is divorced.
Here's where the plot goes, from thick to downright viscous. Ms. McCrary, with the flair of a seasoned novelist, recounts the steamy night of passion she's convinced led to their daughter's conception. It's a story so detailed, you can almost hear the sultry saxophone playing in the background. Prepare your heartstrings for some serious tugging in the next bit.
What is the day you conceived?
He picked me up that night from work, July the 10th, okay? If I'm not mistaken, we got American Deli, okay? He likes to eat. I like to eat. Not a problem. Extra chicken, extra cheese, sub sandwich.
Yeah,
okay.
Up enough.
So with that being said, when you're grown, you're nasty, you get in tune. I like the things he do to me, vice versa. We enjoy each other. Why not? We're grown. We hadn't had protected sex, so come on. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, how was it?
Get ready for an emotional roller coaster. Ms. McCrary reminisces about the day she broke the pregnancy news to Mr. Goodson. His reaction? A plot twist of supportive hugs and dreams of daddyhood, which, spoiler alert, quickly turned into a battlefield of broken promises. But wait, there's more to this saga.
Well, of course, I told family members, they were up for my decision, and I had to just sit, think about it. I gave them a call. You came right away. So when I told him, he was just up for it. I'll be there. I'll rub your stomach, take you to doctor's appointment. And I just felt like, oh, okay, well, maybe he here for me. Maybe he's gonna be here for me. It was not all okay. I didn't want to be by myself.
You'll never see this curveball coming. Mr. Goodson, in a moment of vulnerability, shares his backstory of a previous paternity misfire, explaining his current trust issues. It's a confession that adds depth to his character and makes you rethink everything. And just when you think you can predict the ending, the climax is upon us.
I went down to the hospital, I think like the second day after she was born. And I seen her, she was a beautiful baby. She was a beautiful little girl. And I know kids can, they'll come out light and eventually they'll get darker and look like, I've been through this before.
You've been through a paternity issue before.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it determined that you were the father or you were not?
I was not the father.
You were not.
After 4 years.
It's not my fault.
The moment we've all been waiting for, and it's a doozy. The DNA results are in, and surprise, surprise.
Determined by this court. Mr. Goodson, you are the father.
Oh, okay.
You are the father.
Okay, well, I want to apologize to you. Now that it's over with, you'll never have another problem out of me.
In the bewildering maze of shock and awe, we leap into an entangled jungle of feelings, legal jargon, and dramatic pauses. Mrs. Watts steps up, armed with a PowerPoint and a dramatic flair, expressing her skepticism regarding the paternity of the defendant's 20-month-old son, Kazan, especially after her son, Alex's unfortunate demise in a bizarre gardening accident. This moment isn't just the opening act, it's the appetizer for a buffet of emotional and complex paternity disputes served with a side of intrigue. Grab your popcorn, because the soap opera is just getting started.
Mrs. Watts, you are here on behalf of your deceased son, Alex, who was tragically murdered just a few months ago. Very sorry for your loss. You stand here on his behalf because you doubt he fathered the defendant's 20-month-old son, Caden, and you have asked asked for a DNA test to determine the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say that you are 100% sure that Mrs. Watts' son, Alex, fathered your baby, Caden.
As the story gets thicker than a plot of cold oatmeal, we're introduced to a new, bold perspective. Ms. Cheryl, with the confidence of a reality TV star, stands her ground, claiming Alex is indeed the superhero father of her child, Caden, flying in the face of Mrs. Watts' skepticism. This counterclaim not only stirs the pot, but also turns up the heat on the emotional cooker, setting the stage for an epic showdown of loss, love, and legal battles. Tensions rise, and so does our anticipation for the next dramatic revelation.
My two sons went to visit a friend who had some type of altercation with some gentlemen prior to my sons coming to visit their home. When my two sons got there, they were ambushed and murdered.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
When I got to the scene, my older son, Louis, he was still at the scene. He died on the scene. He was covered with a sheet.
In the dim light of past memories, the ghost of a love story begins to dance. We delve into the romantic saga between Ms. Cheryl and Alex, including their dreams of a future filled with picket fences and pet llamas, tragically cut short. This dive into their past illuminates the murky waters of the paternity claim, weaving a tapestry of love, loss, and what-ifs. Strap in as the narrative car takes a sharp left into unexpected territory.
And so he did get to know his father,
Yes.
the man you say is his biological father, before he passed away.
Yes.
And what was their relationship like?
The relationship was like a father and son bond relationship. They were like two peas in a pod. Alex loved Caden to death.
Miss Cheryl, you submitted a video of Caden and Alex, which you say shows the nature of their relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you submitted that to the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, because like you don't hear what I'm saying? You mad at me now?
Just as we thought we were sailing smooth waters, a hurricane of revelations hits us. The uncovering of a cryptic text message exchange throws a wrench into the works, casting shadows of doubt over Caden's paternity. This bombshell not only shakes Ms. Cheryl's confidence, but also flips the script, turning the paternity saga into a mystery thriller. The plot thickens, and so does our intrigue, as we dive deeper into the rabbit hole of truth.
Did want to keep the whole pregnancy a secret. He did not want nobody to know about the pregnancy.
Why is that?
Alex was a secretive person. He did not like people in his business. And at the same time, I didn't tell my family I was pregnant either. So we both decided to keep this a secret.
He was a private person.
As secrets start to spill like tea in a gossip circle, the canvas of the case is splattered with shades of doubt and hidden agendas. Ms. Cheryl's choice to leave the father's name blank on Caden's birth certificate and opting for an alias, last name unravels a web of doubts and showcases the clandestine nature of her liaison with Alex. This development adds a new dimension to the drama, hinting at the intricate dance of personal battles being fought behind the scenes. Buckle up, because this roller coaster of revelations is about to do a loop-de-loop.
In her testimony, she talked about the fact that you had a relationship, a very good relationship with Alex.
Yeah, we always hung out and did stuff together. He never talked about no babies or nothing. It was like, all this is new to me this year.
We've never even met face to face for him to be able to have a say-so on this.
Talk about what Alex said. He never said nothing about no baby.
So when you all would have your father-son time, when you would talk, he never mentioned I have a baby on the way?
No.
Reaching the pinnacle of our emotional expedition, a verdict emerges, casting a spotlight that changes the entire landscape. The dramatic unfurling of DNA test results reveals that.
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Lita Watts and Caden is 0.006%. You are not related.